6 o'clock, so we're going to get started. I asked Donnie Emerson to come tonight, the pastor of Christian Church, to lead us in prayer. And Donnie had an incident and had to take him to the hospital a while ago, so I've asked Tommy to step in. So Tommy, would you remember Donnie, and would you remember the family of Betty?
Sure.
She's at the funeral home. She worked for the city and retired from the city, so remember that family for us. And Chief, you lead us in the pledge. All right, would you stand with us and bow with us, please?
Let's bow our heads, please. Father God, we just thank you for another day of life, Lord, to be able to just do your bidding, Lord. We just ask you to be with each and every one of those here tonight, Lord, of these elected officials, Lord. Let them make decisions that are pleasing to you. Lord, just be with those that mentioned here tonight, Lord, with physical ailments, Lord. We just ask you to be with them and touch them, Lord, lift them up. And for those that are bereaving for lost family members, Lord, we just ask you to comfort them. Just be with our council, be with our country, Lord. And we thank you for it. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Tommy. I call the Russell Springs June 12th regular meeting to order. Chris, the roll call, please.
Mr. Frost.
Here.
Mr. Barnes. Here. Mr. Huckabee.
Here.
Mr. Wilson.
Here.
Ms. Daniel.
Here.
And Mr. Hudson.
Here.
Mayor, you have a quorum.
All right, you've had the minutes sent to you in your email, and Chris has mailed them out to you, so had time to look over them. I'll need a motion to accept the minutes.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes.
You got a motion by Rick, you need a second.
Second.
Second, Cody and Sherry motion. Roll call.
Ms. Daniel.
Yes.
Mr. Barnes.
Yes.
Mr. Wilson.
Yes.
Mr. Frost.
Yes.
Mr. Huckabee.
Yes.
And Mr. Hudson.
Yes.
The motion carries.
Same thing about the acceptance of the cash disbursements and the financial statements. He sent them out to you. Has anybody got a question on either one of them?
Why are we signing?
Not, I'd like a motion to pay the bills.
I'll make a motion.
Got a motion by Gary, need a second.
Second.
Got a second by Timmy. Roll call, Chris.
Mr. Frost.
Yes.
Mr. Hudson.
Yes.
Ms. Daniel.
Yes.
Mr. Huckabee.
Yes.
Mr. Barnes. Yes. And Mr. Wilson.
Yes.
The motion carries.
I was also asked before the meeting if anybody wants to watch a meeting on YouTube after the meeting. John, tell them where to find it.
Russell County Online YouTube channel.
Okay, so if you want to see yourself on TV, John said turn it on there. So, and the next thing I got is I want to publicly apologize to Cody. Cody, I did not hear you ask who the other application was.
Yeah, and I appreciate you coming and clearing that up with me
And it
like
really-
you couldn't.
I only heard you when we was voting, and it really wouldn't have mattered because
Well,
that was just my
it was all just a
recommendation.
big old
Yeah. But I wanted
confusion.
to clear that up because on social media it was made a big deal out of, so I wanted to publicly, and by the way, I misspoke. We did not get an application, we got a resume. We only had one application and it was the chief, so we did get a resume. But so anything on the old business besides that? No old business at all at this time with the council? All right, Chris, we'll go right into new business. And the first thing is I've got some money to give out and some awards to 2 young ladies, and then one on me. So he don't get money. David Addison. This was the HM Bottom Scholarship, and Miss Addison Hill won it, and we did fix some plaques this year, so you've got something to hang up on your wall when you go to college. And there's your check for $1,000. Thank you.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
Emily? Miss Emily, she won the scholarship, the Russell Springs Scholarship, so she gets a plaque and a $1,000 check too. So we appreciate the young ladies who put in for a scholarship. So good luck to you in the future
Thank
too,
you.
girl.
Thank you.
And the next one is Terry Stevens. Terry, come on up here. We started something this year, and it's kind of like a Kentucky Cardinal. It's the Russell Springs Anchor, and I think this is the third one. And what we're doing is we're giving these to people that does stuff for the city, and just has been a pillar of this community. And Terry had a horse that run in the Derby, and it was a big, exciting 2 weeks around here for the Derby. Everybody's wanting to see the horse race, the Derby, and we just wanted to recognize him for his horse, him and Pam, and the museum across the road, what he's doing there. And we, Terry, anytime we've ever asked him for anything, he's always helped the city of Russell Springs. So we wanted just to bring him in and make him an anchor and let him know that we appreciate him more than you know, Terry, and we appreciate you. And if there's anything we can do for you, just let us know too, because you're so good to us. So thank you.
Thank you,
Appreciate
Mayor.
you.
She's running the Ohio Derby a week from Saturday.
Week from Saturday, in Ohio Derby. Everybody get your TV on.
Thank you, Mayor.
Not you, Brad.
I'm gonna sneak out, thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
All right, the next thing is the Animal Welfare League. Are there anybody here representing them tonight? So then the next thing is the acceptance of the audit, and Mr. Kevin Fisher's here with our FH to present our audit to us. So Kevin, the floor is yours.
Yeah, sorry. I'll give him a second. I guess I'll introduce myself while he's passing those out. I'm with RFH CPAs. We perform the city's financial statement audit. This evening, I'm here to present the June 30th, 2023 financial statement audit. Chris is giving you two things. There's a greenbound book and there's a letter. I'm going to cover those this evening, and what I'm going to do, there's a lot of information in there. I'm going to hit the high points, explain what the audit report's saying, what the letter's saying, what it means, and make myself available to answer any questions. So I'm just going to wait just 1 second so that y'all have it in front of you. Everybody good? Okay, so I'm going to start with the Greenbound book. The Greenbound book is the city's audited financial statements. When you look at it and you open it, you'll notice there's 51 pages, so there's a lot of information. For the sake of time, when I present audit reports, I cover what the audit report is saying, and then I cover what's in this Greenbound book and why. If I skip over it, I don't cover it. It's not because I don't think it's important. It's just for this evening and the presentation, for time, I'm covering what I think should be covered, if that makes sense. Okay. Directly after the table of contents in the Greenbound book is the independent auditor's report. You all, every year when you engage the auditor, you engage the auditor to audit your financial statements and issue a report on your financials. And you also engage the auditor to review and assess internal controls, which is a separate report that is later in the Greenbound book here. So there's two reports. The first report, which is the page you all are on, the independent auditor's report, is our opinion on your financial statements. It's 3 pages. The information in those 3 pages, most of it is the same year over year. The language hasn't changed. What you're looking for when you read the independent auditor's report is what is the auditor's opinion. And by design, it's up front in the first paragraph so that the most important thing is first. And right there where it says opinions, I'm not going to read the paragraph, but when you read that, what it's saying is it's a clean audit opinion. What that means is when we show up as your auditor, you provide your financials, and then we audit them, and then we express an opinion. Clean audit opinion means the numbers and information that follow, in our opinion as the auditor, and based off of our testing and procedures, is fairly stated in all material respects. So that's a good auditor's opinion. So that's what that 3-page document is saying right there. Directly after it, on page 4, I'm just going to take you through really quickly and just explain what's in here and why. So on pages 4 to 8 is the management's discussion and analysis. That's really the city's report. Our role as the auditor is to make sure that the numbers that are in here and the information corresponds and agrees to the audited financial statements. So that's pages 4 to 8. Pages 4 to 8, a lot of this information matches up and is identical with the audited financial statements. On page 9 is the beginning of your financial statements. So this is June 30th, 23. Obviously, we're in 2025. So if you're looking at these numbers and you're looking at cash, investments, different things, the numbers that the cash and investments as of today are much different than what's on here. This is a snapshot as of June 30th, 23. On pages 9 and 10, pages 9 and 10 are full accrual financial statements. You only see them once a year, and it shows the citywide financial statement if you were a for-profit entity. So this financial statement, these numbers in this format, you're only going to see once a year as part of your audited financial statements. That's pages 9 and 10. On page 11 and 12 is your governmental activities, your general fund, your road fund, drug forfeiture monies. It's a different basis of accounting. So if you were to look at page 11 and look at assets and liabilities and try to look at page 9 and match them up, they're not going to match because it's a completely different basis of accounting. Page 11 and 12 is more of a current financial resource, a current snapshot, what as of June 30, 2023, the city had currently available for assets, and then what liabilities it had that were current that it had to pay within a year. Okay, so I always point that out because sometimes we get the question, why does cash or why does receivables or something on page 11 not match page 9? Okay, page 13. This breaks out your water and sewer and the senior citizens fund in its own set of financial statements. So back on page 9 was the city, everything consolidated together. This gives you that individual breakdown. So page 13, 14, and 15 gives you a breakdown of water, so it gives you the balance sheet, income statement, and statement of cash flows for June 30th, 2023. Pages 16 to 35, directly after that, this is all required information. So it's not information that we just decided we think it's important to put in here. This is all under governmental accounting standards, all required to be in here. It gives you information about the city's basis of accounting, the financial statements. It talks about the city's debt, it talks about the city's capital assets, all of that for the CRS information, CRS contribution rates, and all that information. There's just a ton of information in here. It's all required to be in there on pages 16 to 35. If you go to page 36, page 36 shows you budget to actual performance for fiscal year 2023. I always point out that this is there because it is towards the back, and I think it's a useful statement because it shows you, well, what did you budget for, and then where did you land as far as revenue and expenditures. This year it's more important because you had, well, it's more important to point out because there was actually a finding related to the budget, which I'll explain as I go through the Greenbound book. But you'll notice about, not quite midway down under total expenditures, 1.6 million over budget in the general fund, and I'll explain why that happened, and then if you guys have any questions, I'm happy to answer that. But there was a finding related to the budget, which I'll cover here in a little bit. On page 37, directly after that, pages 37 to 47, there's a ton of information on the CRS, net pension liability, and OPEB liability. I think for city council purposes, I don't think it's useful information or helpful. It doesn't help you with the budget. It's all required to be in there, so you have all that information in there. But if I were in your all's shoes, that wouldn't be my focus in what's in this Greenbound book. And then on page 48, it gives you just a breakdown of water, sewer, and sanitation for the year, whereas earlier in the financial statement, it showed water and sewer all together, lumped together. This gives you that breakdown to give you a little bit more detail. So that takes me to the final report, which I mentioned there was a finding on. So hopefully I'm not taking up too much time. I just hate to flip through that book. I hate to flip through that book and not point out why that information is there, so I'd like to cover that real quickly. Hopefully that wasn't too long. So I'm on page 49, and it says independent auditors report on internal control of financial reporting and on compliance and other matters based on audit of financial statements performed in accordance with government auditing standards. So every year you engage the auditor to audit your financial statements. You also engage the auditor to review, assess internal controls and report any deficiencies in internal controls, or to report any compliance issues that are identified as a result of the audit. This is the report. If you have a finding, it's here. The first report is the auditor's opinion on your financial statements, which was a good opinion. This report is, did we have any findings? So this year we did have one finding, and it was related to the budget. It was specifically related to the budget. If you go to page 51, it outlines what that finding was, and it says the city should expend monies in accordance with the budget ordinance as required by KRS 91A.030, and what it says is under about midway down, it says general fund expenditures in the current fiscal year exceeded the budget by $1.6 million. The amended budget ordinance did not provide the required departmental amended totals. So what happened really was, and I don't know if Chris or the mayor want to speak to it all, I don't know, is there was an error in how it was amended. So the bottom line under expenditures was crossed out when it shouldn't have been, and so it was an error in the ordinance. It wasn't, in my opinion, and from my review of it, it wasn't an issue of, well, the budget wasn't followed and all this money was spent that wasn't supposed to be spent. Really what this finding is an error in the preparation of that ordinance, if that makes sense. I don't know if you have anything to add, or if anybody wants to add anything to that, or if how I explain that makes sense.
I'll just double check the number next time on that mathematical error, so.
Yeah, it's just how, it was just when you crossed it out at the bottom, and that is the ordinance, that is the document, that is, you know, final. What's on there is really what the budget is, even though the intent was different than what was on that amended ordinance.
So he wasn't $1.6 million over the budget.
For, yeah, in my opinion, well, technically it was, but it was because of that error and how it was crossed out.
Technically, but not in reality.
Yeah, I mean, the intent was not, you know, I think the budget was followed with, you know, if you look at how the ordinance is, and you guys are familiar with it, where it has departments, and then it comes down to the bottom, that, you know, I believe the department expenditures were followed, and the ordinance was wrong.
Okay.
Because of how it was amended, it was an error. You guys also have one other document in front of you, and I just want to explain what that is, instead of just handing it to you, you know, and say, hey, read it. This is communication with governance. It's required. The auditor is required to present you with it. The intent of this letter is where this Greenbound book, the auditor's report, is a public document. It's viewed by a lot of people outside the city. This letter is supposed to be a communication between the auditor and those charged with governance, so city council, the mayor, etc. There's really nothing in here of concern. A lot of just about all the language in there is required for the auditor to include. So I'm not going to go through it. We did make a recommendation to Chris related to how you all track your utility deposits. That's not a finding. That's just, when we come in and we're auditing, sometimes we see something and we feel like, well, it'd be better to maybe implement or do something a little bit differently. We'll recommend it. And if it's a recommendation, it shows up in that letter. If it's a finding, that shows up in the Greenbound book that I covered a few minutes ago. So that's everything I have. Like I said, there's a lot of information in there. There's a lot of important information. I recognize your all's time, so I try to quickly, without reading word for word, explain what's being said in there. So I hope you all found that helpful, and I'm happy to answer any questions if you all have any questions.
You may have any questions, Kevin?
Do you need a motion?
Kevin, do you recommend the motion and accept it?
I don't think I recommend a motion.
No, I'm saying, you want us to do that, that's what I'm asking.
It doesn't matter to me. It's up to you guys.
Okay. Yeah, that'd be a good idea to have a motion.
Motion to
Got a
accept.
motion by
I'll
Tony,
second.
need a second.
Second.
Sure.
Go ahead, Ricky, you can have it this time.
Second by.
It don't pay no better.
Oh,
Don't
roll
matter.
call.
She said it.
Ricky got a second, Cody was first.
Mr. Frost,
Yes.
Mr. Huckabee,
Yes.
Ms. Daniel,
Yes.
Mr. Barnes.
Yes.
Mr. Hudson,
Yes.
and Mr. Wilson.
Yes.
Thank you, motion carries.
Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you all for having me tonight. You all have a good night.
Thank you.
Sorry we had to put you down about middle wage.
Oh, you're good. Thank you.
Okay. The next thing on the agenda is the second reading of ordinance 2025-08. It's an ordinance finally annexing an area of property in the Deerfield Estate subdivision, and that was sponsored by Lance. Chris, you'll read that.
Commonwealth of Kentucky City, Russell Springs, ordinance number 2025-08. An ordinance finally accepting an area of property in the Deerfield Estates subdivision. Be it ordained by the City of Russell Springs, Kentucky as following. Whereas the City of Russell Springs, Kentucky has held a first reading on June 2nd, 2025, and passed a second reading on June 12th, 2025. A consensual annexation ordinance designated as ordinance number 2025-08 for the area referenced above and described in such ordinance. Number 2, determined that the area here is described as desirable to be annexed, and the same being in an unincorporated area accurately described below and accurately depicted on an annexation map prepared by a Kentucky licensed surveyor, or the annexation map which is attached and incorporated herein by reference as Exhibit A, and is adjacent and contiguous to the pre-existing boundaries of the City of Russell Springs, Kentucky. Number 3, this matter is before the City Council of the City of Russell Springs pursuant to written request by property owners that certain property in Deerfield Estates subdivision be annexed into the corporate city limits of the City of Russell Springs, Kentucky. Number 4, the City Council finds that this annexation is voluntary annexation based on the written and irrevocable consents of the fee simple property owners as reflected in the records of the City of Russell Springs. Number 5 is evidenced by the annexation map and the exhibit meets and bounds describe the territory to be annexed and adjacent and contiguous to pre-existing boundary of Russell Springs. Number 6, the City Council is compliance with KRS 81A.410 subsection 1 subsection B. Finds the entire territory being annexed by reasons of population density, commercial, industrial, institutional, or governmental land use of land or subdivision of land is urban in character or suitable for development for urban purposes without unreasonable delay. Number 7, the City Council is aware that the annexed territory has a public road access as evidenced by the annexation map. Number 8, the City Council, based on the annexation map, finds no part of the territory being annexed to be in an agricultural district as the term is used in KRS 626.850. Number 9, City Council, based on the annexation map, photographic evidence of the record, finds the territory being annexed as has access to multiple utilities. Number 10, the City Council, based on an annexation map and photographic evidence of record, finds that there are numerous residential homes in the annexed territory. Number 11, the City Council finds that all of the foregoing adjacent facts support annexation
of the subject territory being in compliance with KRS 81A.410 subsection 1, as being urban in character or suitable for urban development purposes without unreasonable delay. Number 12, City Council is aware of no evidence to indicate utility infrastructure owned by another city is in the territory being annexed. Number 13, the property is in any other boundary or incorporated city. Is not. All of these above findings are in keeping with KRS 81A.410 and KRS 81A.412 and other applicable Kentucky laws. For such reasons, be it ordained by the City Council of Russell Springs the following. The City of Russell Springs, Kentucky hereby annexes the property depicted on annexation map and described by meets and bounds, description in Exhibit A, and incorporated by reference in the ordinance. Number 14, the final annexation ordinance and the various parts thereof are hereby declared to be severable. If any section, clause, sentence, or phrase of this final annexation ordinance is held to be invalid or unconstitutional by any court of competent jurisdiction, then said holding shall not affect the validity of the ordinance as a whole or any portion thereof other than the section so declared to be unconstitutional or invalid. Number 15, consistent with KRS 100.209, a map is to be attached and is incorporated in this ordinance as Exhibit B, showing the zone classification for the annexed territory as approved by the City Council after recommendation by the Planning Commission and prior to second reading of this ordinance. The territory shall be known on the official zoning map. Zoning district classification upon the second reading and publication of this ordinance. Said territory shall be subject to the City of Russell Springs zoning ordinance as adopted per KRS Chapter 100 and as it may have been amended. Number 16, the final annexation ordinance shall become effective immediately upon second reading and publication. All ordinances or parts of the ordinances in conflict here are hereby repealed. This is a motion to approve the aforementioned ordinance was made by blank and seconded by blank on the second reading on blank date on a duly called and noticed special meeting of the City Council or regular meeting. Following members of the City Council voted against for 4. It says ordinance number, first read, second read, publication, and when decided the foregoing annexation ordinance was passed as specifically above. Signature line for Eddie Thomas, Mayor, City of Russell Springs, Kentucky, and the date. A test line, Christopher Ramsey, City Clerk, City of Russell Springs, Kentucky, and date. And that's for the Deerfield Estates annexation, and that is your second read.
I'll make the motion.
Got a motion by Sherry, need a second.
I'll second.
Got a second by Lance. Roll call, Chris.
Mr. Frost,
Yes.
Ms. Daniel,
Yes.
Mr. Barnes, Mr. Huckabee,
Yes.
Mr. Hudson,
Yes.
and Mr. Wilson.
Yes.
Motion carries, Mayor.
Thank you. Now, so the next thing on the agenda is a second reading of ordinance 2025-09, an ordinance amending the zoning code to establish a hospital medical HM zone and to define and regulate alcohol and other drug treatment in titles AODEs, and it's sponsored by Councilman Hudson. And David, you got that?
I do.
Okay, David, can you read that?
Ordinance number 2025-09. An ordinance amending the zoning code to establish a hospital medical hereinafter HM zone and to define and regulate alcohol and other drug treatment entities. Now, hereinafter called AODES. Be it ordained by the City of Russell Springs, Kentucky as follows. Section 1, Purpose and Intent. This ordinance is intended to promote the public health, safety, and welfare by establishing a dedicated hospital medical zoning district to accommodate facilities related to human health, including alcohol and other drug entities, AODES, while ensuring appropriate land use separation from residential and other sensitive uses. Section 2, Definitions. As used in this ordinance, alcohol and other drug treatment entities, or AODE, shall have the same meaning as set forth in 908 Kentucky Administrative Regulation 1:370, Section 1, subsection 3, and includes non-hospital based agencies providing one or more of the following services: outpatient treatment services, intensive outpatient services, partial hospitalization, withdrawal management services, including medication-assisted treatment, non-physician-owned facilities affiliated with a prescriber providing office-based opiate treatment to less than 50% of patients, of its patients. Narcotic treatment programs using methadone, bupropion, or other FDA-approved drugs. Residential treatment programs, family residential programs, residential treatment and living programs, adolescent residential programs. This definition expressly excludes recovery residences as defined by Kentucky Revised Statutes 222.500 and following. Section 3, establish of the HM zone. The following uses are permitted in the HM zone. Primary permitted uses: hospitals for human care, nursing homes, convalescent and rest homes, medical, dental, optometry offices and clinics, pharmacies and retail establishments selling medical supplies, and AOBs as defined above. Conditional uses: veterinary clinics and animal hospitals, educational or training facilities related to medical services, public health offices and labs, accessory uses, parking and loading facilities, cafeterias, gift shops, and similar services for patients, staff, and visitors internal to the facility. Section 4, developmental standards, the lot size, minimum lot size of 12,000 square feet, and a minimum width of 120 feet. Building height, maximum of 45 feet unless otherwise approved by the Board of Adjustments. Setbacks, front yard 50 feet, side yard 25 feet, rear yard 25 feet. Buffering, AODs must maintain a buffer no less than 1,000 feet from any existing church, school, daycare facility, public park, or playground. Measurement shall be from property line to property. Severability. If any section of this ordinance is found to be invalid or unenforceable, such invalidity shall not affect the remaining portions, which shall remain in full force and effect. This ordinance shall take effect upon its passage, approval, and publication as required by law.
May I ask a question? Did you sign the check-in?
I did, I signed it.
Okay. Give me 2 to 3 minutes. Yeah, hold on just a second.
John,
You want to come up here, Richard? Did you sign in, sir?
yeah,
Did you sign in?
he's the guy you just talked to.
Yeah.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, he's
I
bringing
just signed in, I
in
walked in.
the papers.
I think there was a.
Ricky was the one that asked first.
No, I'm okay. I was just showing that he did sign in.
Okay, well, it's too late now if the meeting starts. That's why you gotta be here for the meeting to sign in.
Well, I just asked, I could not hear what he said. My hearing's going bad, I guess, it was kind of muffled.
So you did sign in?
Yes, I signed in when I walked
Okay,
in.
give him 2 minutes,
Okay.
Chris.
I just have a couple questions
Okay.
before you vote on it.
You're addressing the council, sir.
Should I do that here?
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah,
you
come over
just-
here to the podium.
Where,
My name is Dr. Garner, John Garner. I've had an office here in Russell Springs now for 8 years, and I'm a family physician. We also do opioid treatment program, and it's been set up. My practice has been running. I did not find out about this ordinance you're going to pass, or thinking about passing, until about 3 or 4 days ago. And I think at the time I set my office up over here, I said 8 years ago I treat approximately 80 patients a month in our office on Lakeway Drive. That when I first bought the office, I'm not sure, according to my CPA, we weren't inside Russell Springs city limits. I assume now we are, because I just found about this a few days ago. And so we contacted, Linda, who did we contact?
Mr. Ramsey, Christopher.
Yeah, we contacted him, and he said we need to get a sign up for a business license, which we did when we first found out about it. And I could not hear with my hearing when you're making all the exceptions or what all the definitions of the treatment programs are going to be regulated. I have an office here. It's not near a school. It's not near, as far as I know, a child care center. It's not near a church. As far as I don't think it has any problem with the criteria. I'm just wondering if we're not one of the two chosen, which I don't plan on doing that. I'm only here 2 days a week, and I have other offices that I go to. I just wanted to know if we can be grandfathered in
I would think so.
I think so.
on this, because I
Are
don't
you in the
want
old
to lose.
Ripetoe Funeral Home?
That's correct.
Okay.
And I don't want to lose my business or this. I could not hear. That's why I'm asking the question.
Understand.
All the, exactly how you defined everything, and so I'd like to get a copy of those. To see, because if we don't fit in, it doesn't matter. But,
Okay, we'll get you a copy.
Yeah, I understand that.
Ricky, I apologize. I thought that was you. I couldn't hear him either. I couldn't hear it. I thought it was you.
This is for
Well,
future coming in.
This is all we're asking about.
Yeah.
Like I said, I just found out about it a few days ago. Sure. So I didn't have a chance to come in earlier meetings.
Yeah, he'll be great.
I think
No, yeah, you
it's
should
called
be-
grandfathered in.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
so-
It's kind of like that we have ordinances that you can't have like a single wide trailer in the city limits. Like, there's some up the street from my house that are in, but they were grandfathered in. It'd be the same way with your
Yeah,
business.
I just want to make sure when it does get passed,
I called
that
him.
it's
You're good.
grandfathered in, because
Oh.
it is my business.
Sorry, let me redact what I said there, but
Address that to him.
to David?
David.
Yeah,
sorry.
David.
We're all right with everything?
What?
I said,
He's concerned if he's grandfathered in.
Yeah, I'm sorry, yeah.
He can't hear either.
I couldn't hear, the microphone was muffled, I believe.
What is your question, sir?
I want to know that on this ordinance, if it passes, I've established business already treating opioid use disorder. Been doing it for 8 years here. Have 80 patients a month that I'm seeing. If this ordinance passed, will we be grandfathered in to our business?
Without doing research, I can't give you an absolute answer, but right now it seems like you can be and will be, but I would need to do some research on that before I sign off.
As far as I know, we meet the criteria for not being near a church, not being near a child care center, not being near a school. And I just hate to lose my...
You would appear at least superficially to meet the criteria.
So if any criteria you have or questions you have has to do with the fact that my business would not be near those specific areas that started the ordinance to begin with. Is that correct? All right, great.
As far as I can tell at this point.
But I just would hate to have my business all of a sudden shut down because I don't have an answer to
I
it.
don't think that's in the works, but I can't speak till I know what the law is exactly and it's going to be put in front of us.
And can I get a copy of those, the identities on that? I can arrange to pick it up another day.
Yeah,
I
you
just need it.
can fill out and get with Chris and Chris, we have to have a.
No, it'll be public record on, if it passes, it'll be a public record on Thursday.
On Thursday, you can get a copy of it on Thursday before you pass it.
I just like to read exactly all the details I couldn't hear about who this applies to and doesn't apply to. All right, thank you.
Was you Jesse?
I'm sorry,
Was
what?
you, okay, was you
He's
wanting to
Dr.
speak?
Bond.
Okay. All right. Ricky, was you wanting to speak too?
I was going to, but I don't think this applies to my agenda, so I'm
You
going
have the
to
floor.
ask.
All right. Give him a minute if you got any questions.
Hi there, I'm Jesse Kimes. I'm Vice President of Business Development for Spiro Health. We operate about 75 outpatient facilities throughout 6 states. We have about 28 clinics here in Kentucky. Our clinic right now is in the mall, up the road, and we were trying to relocate, and I have canceled our lease at the mall so that we could relocate to a new facility. It sounds like that this ordinance would preclude us from the facility where we have started, our new business. I had checked with zoning, and zoning allowed for it. And I'm just worried that, we're going to lose that service here. We provide care to about 100 patients here in Russell Springs. Those patients are here in your county. They're not coming from other counties. We're CARF accredited. We have a 3-year CARF accreditation, which is basically where the state comes in and audits us. Medicaid audits us. We provide counseling services, physician services, and then also recovery support. And I'm 43 years old. I'm from Wayne County, Tennessee. It's about 17,000 people in the county. I was working at a bank, and one of my customers kept coming back for money here and there, and they ended up overdosing. So that was kind of my first exposure to it. It's really impacted my generation. I've lost 3 friends to it, 2 church members, and then somebody I worked with. What we provide is a lot better than you think. It's a really comprehensive treatment center. Senator Bill Frist is on our board of directors. Senator Frist was majority leader of the Senate for the early part of 2000. If I can take a moment, I'd love to read a patient letter. We've got a book of patient handwritten letters of how we've helped them. And so I'll just start. If I run out of time, I understand. But it says, addiction has always been in my life. My grandparents, uncles, aunts, cousins, everyone. He said, our lives are so much better now. I mean, we actually have a life now. I would never have been able to achieve everything that I have now without treatment. I even found God again. Suboxone saved my life and truly is a blessing. Not only did it save my life, but it taught my family, friends, and even my parents about the miracle of medicine that saved us all. I now have a 6-figure family, salary, a family, a nice car, a beautiful wife, and an own home. Quite simply, without treatment, I would be dead or in prison. With treatment, I'm living the American dream. I'm just worried that we're not going to have the ability to provide that service to these patients here. We have about 13,500 patients across our organization, and about 4,000 here in Kentucky. So,
got any questions, counsel? Discussion?
Can I leave you with some? I just got some printout.
Just hand them out here, and then we'll.
You want me to hand it to you?
Yeah, just hand them to them.
Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you. I appreciate your time.
Any discussion? None. I need a motion.
I'll make a motion to.
A motion by Cody, need a second.
I'll second.
Need a second?
I'll second.
Second by Gary. Do I have any more discussion on it?
I wanted to talk, but I didn't know you had to sign before it started. I mean, it's up to you all. It's fine if I can.
I've already got a second now.
Second.
Mr. Hudson,
Yes.
Mr. Barnes,
Yes.
Mr. Wilson,
Yes.
Mr. Frost,
Yes.
Mr. Huckabee,
Yes.
and Ms. Daniel.
Yes.
The motion carries, ma'am.
The motion passed. If you will get with Jeremy after the meeting, he's got a lot of places if you want to move to, that he probably can find you a building. He's our economic director, and he don't care a bit. It ain't we don't want you or nothing like that at all. Well, he'll work with you and he'll find you a building here in the city limits if you want to get with him after the meeting. And he's probably done got one. If you want to know the truth, if you want to talk to him after the meeting.
Thank you for that, Eddie. Thank you for that.
Yeah, he will. He'll work with you. The next thing, and I apologize, ma'am.
That's fine.
I do, but once I get it on the floor, I can't,
I just didn't understand all that.
The next thing on the agenda is the first reading of ordinance 2025-10. It's ordinance relating to the lottery within the city limits of Russell Springs, Kentucky, and that's sponsored by Councilman Frost, you got that, or Christian?
Legal summary, ordinance 2025-10, an ordinance related to loitering within the city limits of Russell Springs, Kentucky, sponsored by Councilman Frost. This ordinance defines and prohibits loitering in the city of Russell Springs. It establishes clear definitions of motor vehicle, public places, commercial businesses, establishments, and related terms. The ordinance prohibits individuals from remaining in public or private areas, including commercial establishments, schools, and churches without a legitimate purpose or permission, particularly when associated with illegal activity, noise disturbance, vandalism, or unauthorized vehicle parking. This ordinance authorizes police to issue citation or make arrests based on personal observation or valid complaints from property managers, school officials, or church representatives. Any violation is subject to a $50 fine per offense, with each day a separate violation. Motor vehicles left on such premises without authorization may be towed at the owner's expense. Individuals cited under this ordinance may appeal to the Russell County Circuit Court within 30 days as provided under Kentucky law. And that's your first reading of ordinance 2025-10.
That's the first reading, so we'll have the second reading at the next meeting, so thank you, Gary, for that. And then the next thing is the municipal order 2025-02. It's acceptance of health care and dental insurance for the 2025-26 fiscal year, and that's sponsored by Councilman Huckabee and Lance sponsored that. You got it too, Chris?
I do. Make a change there. Municipal Order 2025-03, City of Russell Springs, Kentucky, accepting Kentucky League of Cities insurance services related to property liability and workers' compensation coverage for the 2025-2026 fiscal year. Whereas the City of Russell Springs participates in insurance programs administered by the Kentucky League of Cities Insurance Services, known as KLCIS, for property liability and workers' compensation coverage. And whereas KLCIS has submitted its renewal terms for the 2025-2026 policy period, and whereas it is in the best interest of the City of Russell Springs to continue its coverage with KLCIS for the upcoming fiscal year, now therefore be ordained by the City Council of the City of Russell Springs, Kentucky, as follows. Section 1, the City of Russell Springs hereby accepts the 2025-26 renewal proposal from the Kentucky League of Cities Insurance for property liability, workers' compensation insurance coverage. Section 2, the mayor is authorized to sign any and all documents to execute the renewal agreement with KLCIS on behalf of the city. Section 3, this order shall take effect upon adoption by the City Council of Russell Springs, Kentucky on this 12th day of June 2025. Signature line, Eddie Thomas, Mayor. Test line, Christopher Ramsey, City Clerk.
Need a motion?
Next, that was
I'll make a motion.
Got a motion to Sherry, need a second?
I'll second.
Great.
Do we have any discussion on it? Before we vote? No discussion? Roll call, Chris.
Mr. Wilson,
Yes.
Mr. Hudson,
Yes.
Ms. Daniel,
Yes.
Mr. Frost,
Yes.
Mr. Barnes,
Yes.
and Mr. Huckabee.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you, Chris. The next thing is the municipal order 2025-04. It's the upgrade of water and sewer utility software system, and that's sponsored by Councilman Barnes. You got it, Chris?
I think I gave you my O2 one. I'll give you the O2 by chance. Yeah, that's why I couldn't find it. I need to go back and read the 2025 O2 one if you don't care. Municipal order 2025-02, municipal order of the City of Russell Springs, Kentucky, accepting the Kentucky League of Cities health and dental insurance coverage for the city employees for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2025 and ending June 30, 2026. Whereas the City of Russell Springs offers health and dental insurance coverage and eligible employees as part of its employee benefits package, and whereas the Kentucky League of Cities Insurance Services, KLCIS, has provided for proposal of group health and dental insurance coverage for the 2025 fiscal year, which includes an increase in health premiums compared to the previous year and no change in the dental premiums. And whereas despite the increase, it is in the best interest of the city and its employees to continue participation in the KLC group insurance plan due to the quality of coverage, provider network, and administrative support offered. Now therefore be ordained by the City of Russell Springs, Kentucky as follows. Section 1, the City of Russell Springs hereby accepts the Kentucky League of Cities Insurance Group Health and Dental Insurance proposal for the beginning of fiscal year July 1, 2025 and ending June 30, 2026. Section 2, that mayor is hereby authorized to take all necessary steps to execute any derivatives and documentation required to secure the health and dental insurance coverage through KLCIS. Section 3, this order shall take effect upon its passage and approval according to law adopted this 12th day of June 2025. Signature line, Mayor Eddie Thomas. Test line, Christopher Ramsey, City Clerk.
So we need to go over that again.
No, I just need a vote. I did number 3.
You had Sherry and then you had Ricky.
Did we skip one or something?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, you skipped one.
I skipped number 2.
So I made the motion on the third, number 3.
And then
Yeah,
you
I've
make
got,
the
I've got
second.
02 and 03. I gave you mine.
You wanna roll call on that?
I need a vote, or first and second.
Motion.
First was Tammy,
Second,
second was Sherry.
That's on the one he just read, right?
Yeah.
yeah.
I do have a question, who's sponsoring this? Because on here it says me and on the paper it says,
On
Someone
02, it was Barnes,
okay.
and 03 was Hudson,
We
is
need
what
to
I've
get a
got.
vote on them too.
Yeah, I need a vote on 02, I got a vote on 03.
Okay. Get a vote.
Who's on?
Need a roll call.
Who's on
Who's on
first?
first?
You're voting on those two.
Okay.
Mr. Hudson,
Yes.
Mr. Huckabee,
Yes.
Ms. Daniel,
Yes.
Mr. Barnes.
Yes.
And Mr. Wilson,
Yes.
Mr. Frost.
Yes.
Motion carries. Sorry about that, I jumped out of order on that one.
It's all right.
No, I'm already on 3. Now I'm on,
Are we to 4 yet?
now I'm on 4.
Okay.
Now we're on 04.
Now sponsored this.
Where we're
And that's
supposed to
sponsored by Councilman,
No, it-
Councilwomen, Councilwoman.
No, that's by Barnes. 4's Barnes, I'm 5.
No.
No.
Let's go with 4.
I've got 4. Municipal Order 2025-04, City of Russell Springs, Kentucky. A municipal order of the City of Russell Springs, Kentucky authorizes the mayor to proceed with the upgrading of the water and sewer utility software system. Whereas the City of Russell Springs' current water and sewer utility software has not received a major upgrade since 2001, and whereas it is in the best interest of the city to modernize and improve the efficiency of its utility billing and financial operations through the use of updated software. And whereas the estimate cost of the proposed software upgrade is to not exceed $50,000. Now therefore it be ordained by the City Council of the City of Russell Springs, Kentucky, that the mayor is hereby authorized and directed to proceed with the upgrade of the city's water and sewer utility software system with a cost to not exceed $50,000. This order is adopted this 12th day of June 2025. Signature line, Mayor Eddie Thomas. Test line, Christopher Ramsey, City Clerk.
Need a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Got a motion by Gary, need a second?
Second.
Second by Cody. Any discussion? Roll call, Mr. Ramey.
Mr. Barnes.
Yes.
Mr. Hudson.
Yes.
Ms. Daniel.
Yes.
Mr. Frost.
Yes.
Mr. Wilson.
Yes.
And Mr. Huckabee.
Yes.
Motion carries, Mayor.
Okay, the next thing is municipal order 2025-05. A municipal order relating to the city of Russell Springs participation in the funding of health insurance premiums for certain classes of coverage for eligible individuals holding employment or elected officials within the city government this is you, Sherry, so
This one's mine.
this one right here is sponsored by Councilwoman Daniels. Go ahead and read it.
City of Russell Springs, Kentucky, Municipal Order 2025-05. Sponsored by Councilwoman Daniel. A municipal order relating to the City of Russell Springs participation in the funding of health service premiums for certain classes of coverage for eligible individuals holding employment or elected office within the city government to be initiated with commencement of the 2025-2026 fiscal year. Whereas the City of Russell Springs recognizes the value of providing adequate and comprehensive health benefits to its workforce and elected leadership as a matter of sound personal management and public service sustainability, and whereas offering competitive benefits is a crucial component in attracting and retaining a high-quality municipal workforce and ensuring continued operational excellence across all departments, and whereas City Council desires to extend employee health paid insurance coverage across all available benefit tiers under the city's group health insurance plan effective at the start of the new fiscal year. Now therefore it be ordained by the City Council of the City of Russell Springs, Section 1, beginning 1, the City of Russell Springs shall assume responsibility for paying for the monthly premium cost associated with all tiers of health insurance coverage offered through the city's group health insurance provider. This benefit shall extend to all eligible full-time employees, part-time employees with full-time status, the mayor and members of the city council. The applicable coverage tiers include employer only, employee spouse, employee child, employee family. Section 2, eligibility for this benefit is contingent upon meeting the employment or elected office criteria as defined by the city and in accordance with the terms of the health insurance provider participation requirements. Section 3, municipal orders shall serve as an addition to the city's existing personnel policies and procedures that shall be incorporated by reference into the city's official records and employment handbook. Section 4, the city clerk is hereby directed to notify all affected employees, elected officials, and relative personnel for the implementation of this policy change in a timely and appropriate manner. Section 5, the dismissal order shall remain in effect unless modified or repealed by future action of the city council and shall be subject to annual renewal during the city's budget deliberations. Section 6, all prior orders or provisions inconsistent with the terms outlined herein are hereby repealed to the extent of such inconsistencies. Adopted and approved this 12th day of June 2025. Signature line, Mayor Eddie Thomas. Test line, Christopher Reeves, City Clerk.
Need a motion?
I have a question.
We'll do that after we get a motion.
Well, I mean, no, on this ordinance.
Okay, go ahead.
Does it include just health insurance, or will it cover dental as well?
Only health.
Only health, okay,
Yeah.
that's all. I'll make a motion.
Second.
I say, go ahead, Lance.
I'll second.
Okay. Now, we got any discussion on it?
Sherry
think
called me
it'll
the
help
other
our
day
workers.
making sure I was gonna be able to come.
I think it'll
I
help
said,
our
oh,
workers.
no, it sounds great.
I think it will help our employees as far as retention and recruitment.
How about it?
You think?
All right, roll
Particularly
call.
with the police department, I think.
Mr. Hudson,
Yes.
Ms. Daniel,
Yes.
Mr. Wilson,
Yes.
Mr. Frost,
Yes.
Mr. Barnes,
Yes.
and Ms. Trugby.
Yes.
Motion carries, Mayor.
Thanks, council. Sorry we got messed up there. It's been
That's my fault.
That's all right.
I'll take part of the blame. Next thing on the agenda is the police department report with Chief Shepherd. Glad you're back, Chief.
Thank you, good to be back. For the month of May, we had a total of 58 traffic stops with 1 alcohol-related arrest, 6 drug arrests, 19 served. Had 19 accidents investigated. Cases opened with a total of 33 arrests and 445 total calls of service for the month of May.
Anybody got any questions for Chief?
Sounds like you're earning your keys.
Thank you. I sent Jeremy out to talk.
He's coming in, Eddie.
Is he?
He's coming back in right now. I thought he was.
Well, he was gonna give economic development report, which he's, oh, there you are.
Here I am.
Economic development report.
Just got him a building, didn't you?
Yeah, I helped him out. We've had, I think 3 RFIs this month. The biggest thing we've had was the Shogun bids. The Shogun bids was submitted 2 weeks ago, if my memory serves me right, and the engineers and architects are verifying all the bids. And we're going to try to meet in the next week or two to get that project moving finally.
Thank you, Jeremy.
Yes, sir.
The next thing is has the council got anything before I give the mayor's report?
I would like to bring something up. I would just want to address something that was on the radio the other day. It just, I just want the citizens of Russell Springs to know that when we have special call meetings, there's no backdoor annex going on or anything like that. You're dealing with non-people's schedules, trying to get a lot of stuff in, and I don't think there was any ill will with it. I just want everyone to know that, you know, we look out for the best interest of all the citizens. And I just want everybody to know that.
Thank you, Gary. Well, people like
We'll
you
see.
and Timmy and Cody that work, sometimes early morning meetings is better for y'all than it is for somebody like me and Sherry that don't work.
I'd like to do that further.
Does the council, anybody else got anything else? If not, the mayor's report, Josh Carey, I'm gonna reappoint him to another term on the city code enforcement board. So you got him again, Tommy, and, he's done a good job, and he's a community strong, and that's why we're reappointing him. The next thing is WHAS Crusade for Children. It brought a little bit under 10,000, it's close to $10,000. If anybody knows anything about that, that's real, real close to the fire department's heart. H.M. Bottom is a big advocate of that, and you know, I can't think of an HAS children without thinking of H.M. Then the next thing is I want to give a big thank you to all the first responders, our fire department and our police department for, and the EMS too, for the Russell County J.C. Fire is another fantastic fire, and they've done a great job, and I just want to thank our first responders we had over there. And then the next thing is the next car show on Main Street will be June the 21st at 1. And Tommy, can you get a drone up and get a picture of all the cars on for Wade? Because I'd like to.
Yeah,
get
I've
all
got a
the
plan.
cars down Main Street.
I've got a plan to do that this time, kind of show everybody, you know, coming and going and everything. We had a really good turnout last month.
Okay. Thanks, Tommy.
Mhm.
Then the next thing is I just want to give y'all a heads up. The KLC conference this year, the fall conference will be September 23rd through the 26th. So if you don't care, mark that down on your calendar now where you can have an opportunity to go. And then I just want to let you know, after 3 years, we finally got our comprehensive plan in and got it done. So it'll be submitted to zoning board for ratification, and once it's approved by them, then Tommy will bring it to us, and Tommy will have to have a special call meeting for that for them, and then it'll be brought to us. So then we'll have it, have our comprehensive plan, which Jeremy will need that for economic development moving forward. And as always, thank you for supporting our city, and let's keep working together to move forward. I need a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn. Nobody else
Motion,
goes
Cody, need a second.
I'll second.
Second by Gary, all in favor, say aye.
What do you
Aye. Any opposed?
Cody, that seat is the adjourner. That's where David Blakey
Oh,
always
yes, that
sits.
is right.
It's